Welcome to the Zen AF Hustle podcast, created for ambitious women who want to have it all without the burnout. I'm your host, Julia Garcia Devanishak. Welcome to the Zen AF Hustle podcast, where ambition is sacred and hustle is not a dirty word. I'm your host, Julia Garcia Devanishak. I am recording this for the second time. I recorded this yesterday on my phone and it is not uploading. So we are doing it again, and that's okay because I love talking about today's subject. Today's episode is going to be a mindset coaching hotline episode. And these episodes are where you are able to ask me any question. You can find the form inside you can find it so many different places, but in the highlights of my Instagram is where you can go to find the form. Everything is anonymous. I'm going to be honest, I should have checked again, but I don't think I have any questions. However, people ask me questions all the time in IRL, real life. So I am going to draw from those and also draw from social media and just different things topics that I come across that I like to talk about. And yeah, and that will be my mindset coaching hotline for today. First, some little updates. I did my first vendor event for my brand, Get Zen AF. I brought my Zen AF wellness planners. I did vlog it, so I'm gonna upload that on my TikTok and Instagram soon. A lot of takeaways and that I love to share with you guys. Maybe I'll create an episode for that as well. What else? I also am planning my first real life event. It's going to be a wellness event, Pilates and paddle, good times only here in Doral. So I moved to Doral about a year ago from downtown Miami. So I'm still meeting people. So I'm hoping that, it'll be a really good turnout. It's already going to be an amazing event. We have a lot of fun brands and sponsors and wellness vendors that are going to come and collaborate. So that should be an amazing time. So if you're in Miami, if you're in Doral, if you love wellness, if you love Pilates, if you love paddle, if you don't know or haven't tried any of those things, it is such a fun time and everybody's going to get one of my Zen AF wellness planners. So win-win for everyone. That's going to be on May 9th at the Set Paddle House in Doral at 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. So it'll start off with a Zen Hip Pilates workout, then a wellness activation where we can chill, mingle, snack, and drink. And then we're going to finish everything off with a little paddle sesh. All right, let's get into today's episode. So, the question comes from an ambitious babe who is really trying to find consistency. Specifically, she wants to find consistency in this ballet class that she likes going to. So she has struggled with doing that. And she gets frustrated. She doesn't, when she doesn't go, and, essentially uh, just doesn't continue to go. How to find consistency in doing this. So, my advice as a mindset coach is that this is so often how we try to create new habits, new goals for ourselves, is that we use the excitement, we use willpower, and we expect it to kind of hold up when the energy of those things are pretty finite. Instead, there is some pre-work we can do to ensure if this is something that we really want to do, we really want to establish, there's some pre-work to do so that we can set ourselves up for success and, make this a long-term inevitable habit or thing that we incorporate into our lives, if that's what we want, right? So the thing is that we have to really sell our subconscious on the things that we want to do. This is because it is just naturally programmed to kind of conserve your energy, keep you in your comfort zone and, keep you safe, really. So we have to deem what we want to do that is new, or what we want to create as important. It is important to us. It is our destination. It is where we are going. It's where we want to, it's what we want to do because we've all seen that. And I have it in my planner that iceberg diagram where it's 10% conscious mind about, and that's saying what we want to do, and then 95% or 90 or 95% of our subconscious is what's beneath the surface, and it's what's really running the show. So, and that is really where we are holding our beliefs and our habits and everything that comes with our subconscious. So we really have to find a way to take what we want and offload it into our subconscious. I do that and I teach how to do that in terms of creating rituals with our habits, meaning intentional habits. We are wanting to do these habits and be intentional about them. And so one of the things that we want to do in creating change, right, is not just changing our environment, going to the class, not just changing our behaviors, doing the class, not just changing our capabilities, learning how the techniques of the class. We want to start changing our beliefs, our values, our identity, our purpose. And that is what really drives long lasting change. Okay, it's the Robert Tilt's model that I also have in my planner, and it is the logical levels of change. Most of us only start, it's a pyramid. Most of us only establish those few lower levels of the pyramid, and it's the higher levels of the pyramid that we really want to tap into in order to create that change in our life. So, one of the ways that I walk you through in my planner how to do that is to create a very compelling reason why you want to do what you want to do. Because again, you got to sell your subconscious on it, on, exuding energy, on getting outside your comfort zone, on feeling uncomfortable, on not getting it right, right? There's so many things that our subconscious is trying to essentially save us from. So we got to sell it on why it's important for us and ensure our success in that. So we do this, and I walk you through this exercise inside my planner. And we do this by asking ourselves why we want to do what it is that we want to do, why we want the habit that we want to create in our lives. What is that going to get for us? How is it going to affect us? We ask ourselves that a good 7 times until we get to the very, and that will uncover enough until we get to the very end to really find our compelling reason. And we tie it in to the purpose of how this is going to benefit everybody else in our lives, okay? And the world at large, maybe even, right? Depending on what it is that we're talking about and what it is that we want to establish. So once we do that, we have really a pretty deep understanding of why we want to create what we want to create. My guess, honestly, is that if it's like a ballet class, this is a very nostalgic thing as an adult to do, right? So it's likely that you are using this ballet class as a ritual that helps you tap into your self wellness element, right? So mind, body, self. Self is really any ritual that allows you to get to know yourself better, brings you joy, makes you feel just like deserving and happy overall, right? And this can be any ritual that falls into that category. So ballet can definitely fall into that category, and that would be my intuition and my inkling on why you want to do that. So it's really important to follow a system and a process that allows you to see the value in prioritizing that thing, right? Because why we want anything and everything is for the feeling that it's going to give us. So even if we take this one little habit that we want to establish, it's going to give us a feeling that we really want to feel. So whatever that feeling is, it's satisfying that self-wellness element. And ultimately, there's this higher ambitious vision that we want to create in our lives, most likely. And that is going to also give us a feeling. So mind, body, and self all attribute to that big and grand, ambitious vision in one way or another. They are also giving you feelings that you want to feel, and those are the feelings that you are going to feel at the end of achieving that ambitious vision. So you want to develop, you want to understand what that is for you. So let's just say for this example that that feeling is just joy. Ballet makes you happy, right? It helps you really tap into your younger you and give yourself a younger you that didn't, get to fully live out that dream. I don't know, whatever it is, or maybe you're just happy doing it when you did get to do it, right? So let's just say that that feeling is joy. So if you are able to stick to it long enough to see the value in it, you will start seeing how just doing this thing brings you so much joy, and that joy translates to every part of your life, and you are just showing up better, doing better in business and relationships and what have you. Then your subconscious is really, really sold on the value that it's providing for you in your life, right? So, how do we stick to it long enough in order to see those results? First of all, I want to address another success concept that I address in my planner, which is failure. You are inevitably going to quote unquote fail when you are trying to establish something new. It is inevitable because if it was something that you are not trying to establish, something that you already did, something that you've already identified with, you already have embodied, then it wouldn't be something that you are working on. You have no reason to fail, right? It's just something that you do. Like, let's say it's brush your teeth in the morning, right? Let's say that's inevitable. That's just who you are. You are just a person who brushes their teeth in the morning. All right, cool. But if it's something new, right, then inevitably there will be days or there will be times that you are either lacking the motivation, you are not finding the time, think life happens and life gets to happen. And those are the times and the things that you need to deal with and understand and expect and plan for, right? Is how will you fail? What is your fail plan? I don't talk about this in my Zen AF Wellness Planner. I just reframe failure for you in order to expect it. However, there can be a fail plan of what do you do if you don't get to satisfy this wellness element of self and feel this feeling of joy. You can choose a different ritual. You can, change the metrics. Which I'll talk about in a minute. But what are you going to do? Are you going to throw it all away and fall into that all or nothing mindset pitfall? Or are you just going to start again the next day or the next week, right? That is your fail plan. And again, depending on what the thing is that you're trying to do, right? Because missing a ballet class might not entail you, having a huge fail plan. But something bigger that you're going after might require you to have a bigger fail plan because how are you going to fail? How are you going to meet yourself? How are you going to solve for how you are feeling and how are you going to move forward? What are you going to do so that you don't identify with the failure? Again, probably a whole nother podcast, right? But I wanted to touch on the fail plan just a tiny bit and on failure in general when you are trying to establish something new. It is inevitable. So let it be inevitable. Let it just be part of the process where you get to evaluate every single week, every single night, even like what worked, what didn't work, why didn't it work, what happened, what came up, how can you solve for that next week? It is feedback. It is just like what we're getting information in order to understand how we can work this thing that we want to work into our lives and make it work for us and not against us. That is key. We are so keen on working on making things happen in a way that it is working against us and not for us. Our routines are meant to work for us, not against us. Mic drop. Just kidding. But you know what I mean? They're working against us way too often, and I see it way too often. Ugh, I missed another time. Ugh, I knew I'm not a consistent person. Ugh, it's never going to happen to me because I've never been a consistent person. It's not working for me. It's never going to work for me. Nothing's ever going to work for me. And the spiral goes on and on, right? Am I right? All right. So that's the other thing. The other thing is just if this is not something that you want to prioritize in your life, then don't prioritize it. Don't keep beating yourself up in a way that is just disempowering you and again, working against you. I'll give you an example of this. I love my fitness routine. Let's say my workout routine, okay? I love working out. All of last year, as some of you may know, life was coming at me hard, and but I really, really need my workouts. I need it for my mind, I need it for my body. I just had a baby. I had a goal to lose, I think like I can't even remember at this point, but I think it was like 47 pounds or 45 pounds that I need to lose. And so I was on it. I was on a little workout hype where I was like really trying to do that. However, I didn't have a lot of support. I didn't have a nanny. I didn't have a gym membership. I didn't have any of those things. And I was just piecing together whatever I could. I would go on these choppy walks because my baby ended up hating walks, right? It was really hot outside. That was another thing. So I would end up trying to go to the mall and just getting some steps in and I would try to put on some Pilates videos that were like 8-minute abs or whatever. Absolute disaster. Nothing happened. I tried to buy a little stepper, a little Stairmaster thingy to do little workouts outside. Again, absolute disaster with the little baby, and I did my best, but I was not really, and I was even getting results. I think I lost like a good 10 pounds just doing whatever I was doing, but I was not getting all of the benefits that I wanted. I was not getting the feeling that I wanted. I would look in the mirror and I would feel disappointment. That's not the feeling I was going for. I was hoping to feel accomplished. I was hoping to feel capable. That's why I was doing what I was doing. I was hoping that it fed my mind and body, the wellness elements of my mind and body, the way I planned for it to, but it wasn't working. So I allowed myself some grace. And I just said, this is not a priority for me right now. It cannot be because I don't have the resources at the moment. I've tried and tried and tried, and I've evaluated every single week. What can I do? What can I do different? It was like the goalpost was moving crazy like because if you ever had a baby, you know that a lot of goalposts move quite often, right? So she one week she would be okay with walks, the next week absolutely not. We are not walking, right? One day she would be okay, she would just chill and watch me do Pilates. Absolutely not. The next week, forget about it. She was, way too needy, whatever it is. So I just gave myself the grace to just do whatever it is I can do, whatever it is I know how to do, whatever it is I could get in. And that was enough. And I just relinquished the fact that it was a priority. It was not even a priority anymore. It was not a non-negotiable. It was nothing. It was just if I could, cool. If I couldn't, I couldn't. And what ended up happening was that when I got a nanny, when I was able to get a class pass membership, when I was able to find a workout that I really liked, that's exactly what I did. I had enough self trust in myself to relinquish that top priority, I guess, at the time, and say that it was not a priority any longer because I knew and I had trust in myself that I knew when I could, I would. And that's exactly what I did. So I've said a lot here, and let me just unpack these different concepts. The first is, again, having metrics for what you are trying to establish. What time of the day? What time of the week? What days of the week? What is the cadence? What's the duration? What is the amount? What is it satisfying for you in terms of your wellness elements, mind, body, yourself? All of these elements, all of these metrics are variables that are measurable and changeable. So if it's not working for you where it currently is, see if you can evaluate every single day and every single week. It doesn't have to be some huge evaluation. It could just be like, worked, didn't work, going to revisit this in a minute, next week, tomorrow, whatever it is, every single week. Is it working for me? Is it not working for me? Is it just difficult? Or is this something that I need to completely reconsider? Is this giving me the results that I want to feel or not? Right? All of these things are metrics. All of these things are variables that metrics that you can measure and variables that you can change. Let me change it, to these days instead. I'm less rushed. Let me change it to this amount of time. It's a little bit more doable for me. Whatever it is, we can change it. We can evaluate. We can see how we can make it work for us and not against us. Okay. So metrics are super, super key. The other thing that I mentioned here is self-trust. There your wellness routine in general is an amazing way to establish self trust because it's usually small, simple rituals and little commitments that you can keep and make to yourself and keep them. And that builds your trust. Okay. But if it's a bigger thing that you're trying to establish, maybe there's a little ways that you can establish self-trust. Like again, like I'm going to brush my teeth tomorrow, right? You could trust yourself that you're going to brush your teeth tomorrow. You can brush it, you can trust yourself that you can, at least tame your hair at the very least, right? There's little things that you can do to establish that trust within yourself that you are going to do what you said that you are going to do. That's it. Find ways to do that. Find ways to do that. And then I promise you, this all or nothing thinking will go out the door because really what you are missing is not consistency. It doesn't mean that you have to do the same thing every single day and everything has to look the same way and life has to go absolutely perfect in order for you to do that. It's not going to go perfect. We are human beings. Life is life. It's going to come at us and it's going to come at us hard in some seasons. And we have to know that it gets to happen. Life gets to happen because that's how we learn. That's how we grow. That's how we evolve. And we as humans, as people that are trying to work on developing ourselves and showing up as our best every single day, we get to choose how we take that life happening to us and transmute it into how it's happening for us. So we get to say, I have enough of self-trust in myself that right now life is coming at me, or there's a season of my life that is happening and it is just not possible. It is just not a priority for me right now. I'm going to stop beating myself up about it. It is not useful, helping me in any way. And I'm going to trust myself that I'm going to start as soon as I can, as soon as life eases up, as soon as I've learned the lessons in this season, as soon as whatever the case may be. I'm going to start again as soon as I can. You bet you I will. Okay. That's the key. Self-trust, not rigidity. Will you start again tomorrow? Will you start again on the next meal? Will you start again on, on the next class time? Whatever it is, that's what you need to work on is self-trust. Less rigidity, less, emphasis on consistency and more on self-trust. Ask yourself instead, how can I build my self-trust a little more each day? And that's it. The last thing I will mention, if you're going to obsess about consistency and this rigidity, then at least obsess about it in a way that matters, in a way that is useful to you. Consistency should be obsessed about in your mind, body, and self, about becoming the person and that is and has whatever it is that you are trying to achieve in your life. Become obsessed about being consistent and being aligned with that version of you, that next level self version of you who has the thing that you want. That's what you need to obsess about in terms of being consistent. Consistency in your mind, that means anything, any thoughts that you're thinking, any beliefs that you are holding, are they in alignment with the person that you are trying to become? If not, become obsessed with that. In your body, having the nervous system of the person that has the thing that you want to create. Okay. This is so underestimated, but having the person, being the person who can have, hold, and grow their capacity is essential. Be consistent and being obsessive over that, right? self, being the person who feels deserving of the things that they are trying to create in their life, essential, right? How do you do that? Being the person who knows themselves, values themselves, is it feels joyous and happy with themselves. Those are those rituals. These are little rituals that you can do every single day, whether you miss the class, the ballet class, or not. Okay. There's different ways to work on these things. So if you're going to obsess about consistency, obsess about being consistent in mind, body, and self. That's it. Another mic drop. Holy moly, I'm on a roll. I'm glad I actually redid this because this is coming out 10 times better than the first recording did. Nonetheless, so that's what I'll leave you with. And then just to do a little recap. Sell your subconscious on why you want to do whatever it is that you want to do. Okay. It is there to protect you and to conserve your energy. It's not going to just say, I want to do this. No, you have to offload it into the 95% of what is actually controlling your habits, and what you're doing and what you're not doing. So the more that you can sell yourself on doing it, is you're going to stay out of that willpower, out of that discipline, out of that finite energy, and offload it straight into your subconscious where you have infinite energy, basically, right? And it's by first selling yourself on it and deeming it important so that you can show up long enough to see the value in it. What is it doing for you? How is it benefiting your life? Does it make you happy? Does it make you richer? Does it make you smarter? Whatever it is. What is the feeling that you're trying to feel, and how is it doing that for you? Then finally, stick to it long enough. And I didn't talk about this concept, but it's called commit to evaluate. Stick to it long enough in order to see the value in it, right? And stay out of the all or nothing feel thinking, and really reframe your relationship with failure. When you are establishing something new, it's inevitable. It's not going to work out picture perfect. Okay. Those expectations are false. You're going to have to try and measure and evaluate all of those metrics and all of those variables until it's something that fits into your life and is working for you and not against you. Finally, build self trust over rigidity. Okay. That's going to take you much further to where you want to go and the things that you want to achieve, way more than just doing the same thing every single day or that you're wanting to do. That's going to get you those results. Okay. Self trust will outlast any kind of rigid schedule way better, and serve you way better. And then lastly, if you're going to obsess over consistency, at least let it be that you obsess over it being the mind, body, and self, and ultimately the identity of the person that you are trying to become, that has the thing that you are trying to achieve. Okay. Mind, anything that is your thoughts and beliefs; body, anything that is your nervous system; and self, anything that makes you feel deserving of achieving those things. Be obsessive about consistency, uh, in those things that are aligned with the version of you who has everything that you want. All right, let me know how you liked this episode. Let me know if anything landed for you. And of course, if you have not gotten your Zen AF Wellness Planner, what are you waiting for? I hear so often, if I just had consistency, I would have all the results that I want. Well, here you go. Here's the way to do it. Here's the way to get it. And there's a process to follow and a very amazing, beautiful tool to support you along the way. So get yours at getzenaf.shop, and let me know again how you liked this episode. Subscribe, follow, leave me a comment, and any feedback, please let me know privately in my DMs, Julia Garcia Devaney. Love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening, Ambitious Babe. And if you are ready to bring the Zen back into your hustle, be sure to visit getzenaf.co to find out more.